Scott Robertson joining us on the line all the way from Christchurch, I presume. Welcome to the show, Razor.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, how much fun was it last night?
No, it was good. It was good to get going. Actually, you spend a lot of time on selection, especially when you got that period of, over a year, but then you get into the super, and you have your own little stats to know where you want to do it and a couple of key things for selection, and then you climb into it, and, guys get through some forms, you get some injuries, and you have a depth chart, and because you've got to remember this is 32-man squad go to 36-man, and then the end of your tour with AB 15, so, you do a little bit with Clayton as well on the side, so there's a lot going on, but it's good to name it.
When did you put the list in the envelope and seal it up, Ray? How late into the piece when did you know you had your squad?
Well, the one, December Sunday went quite late in the piece. That was the third hooker role. There's a lot of conversation making sure that we felt we got that one right. This is a little bit of future-looking angle on that selection. Obviously, Paddy, rose from the ashes in some way. We thought he was going to be out, and what was it going to look like if he wasn't there. So it's never finalised. Probably about the day before, to be fair.
Wow. Yeah, you touched on George Bell, that hooking spot, that third hooking spot, and I guess the fact that Samasoni was out was the big factor there. Ricky Riccatelli, would you consider him unlucky in the selection process, Ray?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. No, Ricky's solid. Had him in the 20s years and years ago. Obviously tracked him. He's played great for the Blues. So, they're fine calls, those ones.
Sititi another?
Yes, very similar. Hell of a player. And I've mentioned last night, big focus for me and the team, especially loose forwards, is to be, and test level is to be great both sides of the ball. And we lived and talk, and I had a conversation with him during the year, and asked to see a few things, and we had good conversations, and in the end we went with somebody else.
I look at your loose forward trio, mate, and I'd like to touch on a few of those players. Jacobson there, he's your hard edge. It allows Artie Savia to play a role, and Ethan Blackadder and the like to take that enforcer role at number 6. Have you thought long and hard about how you want that trio to operate together, given what each player brings to the role?
Yeah, with the loose forwards, because majority of them, a lot of them can play 2, maybe 3 positions. A lot of them, are very good around the breakdown, defensive, triple actions in that area, and they've got a good line-out balance. They're good leaders. All of them. Luke has been exceptional for the Chiefs this year with his consistency and discipline, and majority of the time, and performing at their highest level. So that mix with the versatility. You need someone on the bench who can play all 3 really ultimately to make minimal change. So all those things were considered.
Ray, I was at the airport with you in Wellington, and I said, Wallace Sititi, what an outstanding game he had tonight, and you gave me nothing. Absolute silence from all 4 coaches there in the lounge. So he was announced last night, mate. When did you know that he was your man, and what did you like about Wallace Sititi this year?
Well, he sort of picked himself, didn't he, with those performances? He just rose up to those. The quarter, we thought, wow, and then the semi, and then when you're on the other side of the scoreboard in a final, lead the counts on both sides of the ball. Off slow ball, beating players with good feet. The confirmation in the final, but the good thing about him, he can play all 3. He's exceptionally quick in the line-out as well, and it would just his character of how resilient he is, and he can just get up and, working back behind the ball when the ball was high, and to volunteer to make a couple of tough carries into absolutely a dead set wall. He carried it, and we were like, okay, that's a test footy player. So just like his dad, I knew his dad's shoulders pretty well, having just like his son, yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing to see Wallace Sititi named. I've been very impressed. Hey, we've talked a lot about utility, factor within the squad. There's only one specialist fullback at a stretch. You've got more hybrids than your local Toyota dealership, Ray. Is that the way the game's going at the moment?
Good chat for you. That's a good 24-hour work. Look, obviously, D-Mac can slide back there, and Perafita, who's very good under the high ball. I think things are going to be coming raining down, aren't they? Playing England, and also Bowden can cover both. Ruben covers it. Ruben Love, as I mentioned, his injury cover. Caleb's got a bit of a bang on that rib. So, there is enough flexibility. And in the 32, the thing about the 32 at the start of the year makes you really dial down. 36, you've got a bit of luxury and people come in here. And obviously with the loose, the locks, we've only still taken 3 with Sima Penny that can cover, with a couple of, guys coming back from injury soon. It does make you dial in it, but it also makes sure you've got guys with utility. So, that part's exciting. To get the mix together and have those 4 other guys coming in. Dave Havili comes as well as cover, and you can play more positions. Yeah.
I want to talk to you about your first test team, Ray. It's one thing to announce your first squad, but your first test team is not that far away. In fact, we're at about a week's time. You'll have to name that. Are you guys pretty clued up now about what that team is going to look like?
Yeah, you'd probably start there and then work back. Assuming that's how I've always done it. Start with their testing, what it looked like, who's great at starting and who's finishing, especially around that sort of front row, halfbacks, and who can cover off the bench in your backs. So if things do happen early. We're not Bob squatting or anything like that. It's not our style. I've never really done it before. I'd never say we'll never not do it, but so you start with that and then you work back. So we've got a good picture in the head what it'll look like in the first test. And
your game driver's in place already, so I'm assuming, taking from what you've just told us, that you'll know who's controlling the game for you and you'll know what that impact off the bench is going to be?
Yeah, for sure. Look, and Scotty Henson, because he's doing the 9s and 10s, he can coach both sides of the ball. He's been working with Bowden when he's been in Japan. He's got a good relationship from the AB15 with D-Mac and Perafita. So all those guys that are game drivers, and he's all over Scott Barrett too. So he started that process off because of their language. What our theme will drive back into our on-field and the language and how we're going to play, and we thought about their mindsets. So it's slowly been driven. Great thing having the non-finalist camp last week. We could start that process, and we've got those players to come in and start leading that. We're still coaching. They've just got to lead their areas, which we started last week.
Yeah, Ray, you obviously got limited amount of time. From what I saw with the announcement yesterday, you want a tough squad, a mobile squad, a squad that's got a bit of X factor. Come next week and the game in Dunedin, what are some of the areas that we could look to see you implementing your mark on the All Blacks team?
With the first thing, just the connection, cultural piece, connection to the public. We'll do that alongside the rugby. I think that's we're going to NZCIS, which will be a new fighting, new home for us. It's a special place out in the hut. And I'm just looking forward to starting that off in a respectful way. And before we get down into the rugby stuff, being the haka, all the extended stuff that we'll live by, we'll get that going, and then we'll dial in to what it looks like to play an England side who's good. They've grown their game. They've got to give them the ball a bit of air, but they still give you the pressure cycles that English teams do. So, look, I'm not sure if I answered your question, but we'll probably we're definitely going to see. We want to play in lots of different ways. But we want to be able to play with the ball in hand, but also be able to kick and keep pressure depending on the conditions where we are and whereabouts, what's required in game.
Razor, we really appreciate your time. All Black head coach Scott Robertson joining us. One last thought on your captain, Scott Barrett. I know you had some comments to make about that last night post-announcement, but there is one thing. Scott Barrett's had some discipline issues before in Test match rugby. What have you spoken to him about those factors and what the captaincy will mean to him and his approach on field?
Yeah, your two-pronged question. The first one was around the discipline. Look, he's aware of it, if he's a captain or not. You know, he's dealt with a lot of this stuff. He's one that lives on the edge. He's a type forward that'll live on the edge. The physicality and brutality of international rugby. If you slightly get it wrong, you get it wrong. And you look, he's matured, he's understand, he's owned it, he's done a bit of work with it in the mental side. So you just got to trust someone, don't you, and then go out and play. The other side is, look, Scott and I, there's a few Scots now, so I'll call him Scooter for now. But he's a winner. You know, like we've had so much success over a long period of time. You know, to get the team over the line, and because our relationship, like I mentioned last night, is really critical, important to us. And, you know, look, everything due considered, there was conversations with other players and, you know, I just believe for this fullback group, he's going to drive what we need on and off the field with a great group around him.
And the others took that pretty well too, Race? They understood your reasoning there?
Yeah, look, once you had the conversation, all those things are about the delivery, why you're doing it, and once you get that understanding and respect, and then it comes back to the black jersey, everyone's, you know, like, I'm on board, I'll do what I need to do for this for this team. So, yeah, it was really respectful and honest.
Love it. I really appreciate your time. I know it's a really busy time for you and you'll be right in the mixer now. So best of luck to you and your coaching group, and, of course, those 32 players who've been selected and the others there with you for injury cover. Enjoy the training runs. It's going to be heated. Like it.
Yeah,
cheers, Ray.
Thanks, guys. Good to chat.
SENZ. It's Kiwi for Sport.